What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mattel WWE Elite Collection Hall of Fame Series, Class of 2005, Roddy Piper. Really glad I have this guy in my hand. What we're going to do now is take a little break, get him open up and out of the packaging, and then we'll have a better look at the figure, so sit tight, everyone. And here we have Roddy Piper out of the packaging. Before we get onto the figure, let's actually have a look at his accessories now. He does come with two accessories. Let's get those out of the way first. He comes with the kilt and the shirt. Now, the shirt is done really well. The kilt, not so much. You can see it doesn't tab on the figure all that well. Now, that's true and false. It does tab on the figure really well. The only thing keeping it from tabbing on is the shirt. If he didn't have the shirt, it would actually peg in quite easier than you see it here. And let's actually take the kilt off. Now, I did cheat a little bit for this review. I did modify my kilt just ever so slightly. When you do get your kilt, take a look at these pegs. They are really soft pegs, but chances are they are just going to be smashed and pointing upwards like that, and they're not going to peg in properly. The easiest fix I can say is take a hairdryer to these pegs, peg them in while they're still warm, and then just set them down for about 10 minutes. Let it cool off, and then the pegs do settle back in. You can see them right in there, that the pegs are sitting properly. That's the only way that they do sit properly. Other than that, you're not going to be able to have his kilt. It's a nice accessory, but if they went the fabric route with his shirt, why didn't they go the fabric route with the kilt? It boggles my mind, but it is a softer plastic, so be aware that these might end up tearing at some point, because the softer plastic Mattel uses, it does have a tendency to break and tear, so be aware of that when messing with the kilt. And he also does come with his hot rod shirt, which it's the standard soft grid shirt that we see. It's white, so you don't have to worry about it staining, and it of course velcros on the back like so. It's as simple as just putting it together. And then we do have the hot rod shirt, which looks really nice. I do like that. So getting that off to the side so we can have a better look at the figure. And I have to say there's some pros and cons to this figure. I like a few things, and then there's some things that it's out of the figure's control, and I really can't fault the figure, but Mattel really needs to step up their game. If you notice, my Roddy Piper is going off to his left, and that is because his right leg is longer than his left leg. I don't know how this happens, why it happens, but in order to get Roddy Piper standing flat-footed, you do need to have this leg jutting out at this angle. I don't know if this is a universal issue or if it's just mine, but it is pretty obvious that one foot is longer than the other by a significant amount too. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can put the kilt under his foot and there's still space underneath the kilt. So like I said, it might not be a universal issue, but it is something to take note that your Piper might slant off to one side. So let's actually have a look at Piper's details. Now he has a very basic ring attire, which it is normal for the time. Back in the day, wrestling attires really weren't that flashy. They were just simple wrestling trunks and maybe knee pads. But I'm going to say this, probably the best Roddy Piper face that we have ever got on a figure. It looks just like the Hot Rod back in the day. And I really do like that. Unfortunately on mine you can see the paint is wearing a little thin right there. And then we do get a little blemish right there. But it's a dirt mark, so I can just take some alcohol and rub that off. But still, really nice looking figure. I do dig the face. And like I said, he has a really simple attire. It's just blue trunks. He has a white wrist tape on both sides, blue knee pads, the socks, and then on his boots we do have this almost copper, it's like a coppery purple color. I really don't know how to describe it, but it looks really nice. Really classic white ring laces. And then we have the RP for Roddy Piper. And just really overall done very well. A well-executed figure. Like I said, mine does have some issues, and we'll get more into that when I go on to his articulation, which we're going to have a look at right now. Besides his right foot being longer than his left foot, the right leg is incredibly loose, you can see, versus this one where I have to actually put pressure on to move it. This one moves with with relative ease, so that is a little unfortunate. Going on to his head, he doesn't really look up, and that's just because the way his hair is sculpted doesn't afford much upward movement. He can look left and right, but because the way his hair is sculpted, it's always going to have him looking down and away. He can look down, and like I said, just by nature of his hair sculpt is going to make him look down and away. Arms on universal joints, they go out to about that far. Now, this is another problem I have on mine. This one does a 360 no problem. This one, on the other hand, no pun intended, does a 360 going back. But if I try moving the arm back around, you can see it's starting to split the torso. It's the exact same issue I had with my AJ Styles, and it does suck because if I try moving this arm forward, the arm's going to break off, and there's going to be nothing I can do to fix it because the peg in the arm will be shredded. So the arm does go around forwards, but not back. If yours has that problem, do not try to force this arm forward because you're going to destroy the peg in the arm. We have a bicep swivel, single jointed in the elbow, swivels at the wrist, as well as a hinge, which is a little loose on mine. We have an ab crunch, which works pretty well, goes back, forward. We have a rotation in the waist, legs go forward, back, and out. Swivels at the thigh, double jointed in the knee, swivels at the boot. As already mentioned, he does have an ankle hinge and rocker ankle, so we can get him in pretty good poses. But that's Roddy Piper for you guys. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. So sit tight, everyone. So here we have Roddy Piper posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I really do think he's a nice figure. I just wish the kilt was done better. If they had been soft goods, it would have worked much better. Or even if the shirt and kilt were one piece, that would have worked so much better than the setup they have now. As it stands, if you can actually get the shirt and the kilt on perfectly, it's going to sit nicely. As you can see on this, I did finally get the kilt and the shirt to match up, and it actually looks so much better. Now, I did find this Roddy Piper at Target. Target is the only store carrying the Hall of Fame series, so if you are looking for the Hall of Fame WWE figures, check your local Targets. I believe right now they're having a sale on them. I believe Roddy Piper came out to about $18 before tax. That's $2 cheaper than normally. If you can find Roddy Piper and you can deal with the kilt, I really do recommend you pick him up. It's probably the best elite Roddy Piper we have gotten to date, and I just really do enjoy him in my Legends display. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. As always, let me know what you think of the figure, and check out all my other WWE action figure reviews. If there's a figure you would like to see me review in the future, as always, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. Until next time, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000, and I'll see you guys later. Take care, everyone.